What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is not the best news you can probably hear. I mean, I'm sure you guys know the sneaker market has basically crashed. It went down. Every single shoe is pretty much down in price. And because of that, this is actually a great opportunity for us to buy in because all shoes are pretty much down. The way I determine what to go for, because there's a lot of options, is when you go on StockX, you want to click sneakers. As we can see, there's plenty. These are mainly the more popular ones, and all those are almost all down in price. And so what I usually do is I just go for either most popular or total sold. So if we click most popular, as we can see, this gives us a very good grasp on what's moving right now and I guess what's popular. And so we kind of go down, obviously black and white dunks. If we click right here, they restocked like 1,000 times. My investment went horrible, but we can see they're like 220, 230. They're almost nearing 200. And if we go down, right, and we kind of see the trend that black and white dunks have, they went from 300 down to 250, up to 300, down to 250, up to 300, down to 250, up to 300, and down to 250. So you really want to watch these trends and see, okay, if that's happened like 4 times already, it might happen again. And so unless Nike restocks these to the point where they're like Air Force Ones and they go for 100, which I mean, I think that'll be rare, but you know, it could happen. Then I think, you know, like looking into stuff, buying it at its lowest, like 200, but also be aware that they could continue to restock them. But what you want to essentially do is you want to go down this list, and this can take honestly like hours. Like it's took me hours, and that's how I get a lot of my good investments. We click patent bread right here. If we essentially look into this right now, size 9 is 266, 267. You know, some of these sizes are hovering at around 260. When's the last time you saw bread 1 at 260? So that's a pretty good also indicator that these have plummeted in price, and it, you know, could be a good time to buy in, because every other bread 1 that I know, like the banned ones or any other bread 1 that released, it's like a $500+ shoe. And so I think that's, you know, almost the lowest that a bread 1 or that bread 1 would go to. And going down the list, it's the same thing with these pandas. If we see, they're all like 150 now, but if we scroll down, we see the trend. You know, they're at 200, go down to 150, 200, down to 150, up around almost 200, down to 150. So it's just really following patterns. And to be fully transparent with you guys, it could take time to catch on to some of these trends. I mean, it took me years, like a long time, and years of market research. As we click the bread toe right here, I bought in at, you know, a bit too high, but as we see, market went down 130, 140. And if you guys invested, you know, it's nothing to worry about. You know, this happens almost every year. So I'm personally holding my pairs, and you know, it went from that 170 down to that 150 range. Sales volume is pretty high, so there's obviously demand, but there's just more pairs on the market than there is demand. And so people are undercutting because they want their pairs sold quicker. Essentially, all you really have to do is just go down the list. A lot of you guys have been asking me about this one. This shoe's like 195, 195. I'm not gonna say invest into them, right? You just have to look at Nike Dunk trends. And one thing I do want to mention about Nike Dunks that I will make another video on is simply Nike is releasing like 20 colors every like 2 months based off what I'm seeing. And that's good and that's bad. It's good that there's a lot more options for us to invest, but it's also bad because there's a lot more options for consumers to pick from. And it's like, you have to be very, very careful with what you invest into, because you pretty much have to predict what people will want, you know, 3 to 6 months from now, and that's what's gonna go up in price. And so you really wanna be careful now, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the market. You just wanna be careful in that regard. One thing I don't really mention that often is that I do that in my Discord chat. You have to put in an application to actually get in, to keep it limited so the methods work. But in that Discord, I basically, you know, go over my personal investments and what I go into. So if you don't have time to go on StockX for hours and do your market research and pick out golden holds, that Discord would probably be for you, and you could put in an application down below. These diamond short lows, I think they're all like 120-ish. Pretty much retail, so something you could also look into moving back. Also, if you guys, some of the mids, certain mids like this, will bounce back up. Mids like this will also bounce back up. This shoe right here, the black, University Blue White. I think girls are gonna gravitate towards this in the next upcoming months. It all goes for about $150. I think retails about $120 if I'm not mistaken, but I could easily see this, you know, being a $200 shoe. So it's not ginormous margins, but it's still there are margins there. And also knowing, you know, what sizes to get. You're gonna wanna get, you know, like a size 7 to a size 9 women. That's the size range I stay in when I invest into Jordan 1 lows for women's. Here's another one. As we know, I told you guys to invest into this. I have a lot of pairs right now that I paid more, but market's down, like I said. It's a good opportunity to get in. This shoe right here is like $250, $230, $240, good size right here, size 9. You could also use this as negotiating. You know, obviously a lot of people go by StockX. Ask when you buy locally. You could just tell them, look, you know, this is the price, and market's down, so they can't say, no, this was like 300 a month ago. This is market now, so it's lower. I think the main reason why this actually went down in price is because Asia, Nike China, and I think other countries in Asia had very, very high stock. I was personally offered like hundreds and hundreds of pairs. Luckily, I, you know, didn't buy those hundreds and hundreds of pairs. I just bought, you know, a decent amount, but these are low right now, and I do see these going right back up to 300, if not more. Honestly, it's a very, very solid colorway. It has pretty good sales volume. Obviously, these grade school bread toes right here, also, you know, very low right now. Like I said, the market's just down in general. I think if you have some extra capital that you want to invest into, first step to having a really high success rate with investing and having very successful sneaker investments is simply going through the list on StockX. I mean, there's a lot. What you could also do is, instead of doing most popular, you could do total sold. That also helps. Usually it puts the most popular at the top. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Like I said, this is an opportunity you do not want to miss, and that's why I'm putting this video out. You guys know I don't just randomly throw out videos for no reason. Please don't miss out on this opportunity, because I don't want, you know, 3-4 months to go by. And if you follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I'm gonna be posting, you know, shoes doubling and tripling that I invested into 3 months, 4 months from now. And I don't want you guys to message me and say, oh, I missed out. Please don't be that person. Do your research. If you need help doing your research, you know, feel free to put in an application for my Discord. I pretty much do the work for you. But if not, really do your research and don't miss out. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.